So what is the future of Lexus? What is going on with Lexus lately? In today's video, I want to share with you some observations about Lexus lately that some of them are good, most of them are concerning actually. I have seen Lexus how they transitioned from hallmark cars like this and modern hallmark cars like this to interesting things. Let's just put it this way. Let's get started with the video and talk about it some more. So here's what I see with Lexus lately. I feel like they are starting to refigure out what they want to be. And they're trying to be something that is against their DNA lately. That's literally how it feels like. In order to explain that, let's walk through the current Lexus lineup to understand where we are at. Let's talk about the most important car for Lexus, the one that started everything, Lexus LS. Well, that's been discontinued because the 2025 Lexus LS was not good. Was very not good. Good in certain things, as in equality and whatnot, but so behind on everything else. See, back in 1989, when the original LS400 came, it was not your grandpa's car. It was actually very cutting edge for its time. It was so advanced, it made the Germans, rivals, just kind of cancel their vacation and let's go back to the drawing board. But the LS500 that got discontinued, it was not even a shadow of its former glory. And you can tell a company is struggling, and I understand they have to pivot and change with times and whatnot, but you cannot mistaken turmoil when you see the original, the most important car they ever made get discontinued like that, and nobody even cares. That's the truth. Lexus doesn't care. Folks that buy Lexus don't care. Nobody else cares. That's how bad it's gotten for that one model that is very important. Then we walk down the line. See, the Lexus LX. This is a very interesting one to me because so they discontinued the big Land Cruiser, the 300 series, but they kept the LX, which doesn't even make sense because the whole problem with the Land Cruiser, the big one, was it was too expensive. Well, let's cancel the lesser expensive one. Let's keep the most expensive one. And at the prices that they are commending, it is very behind. And the only thing that people would maybe look at the Lexus LX and consider it is, well, it's reliable. Then the V35A came around and that kind of put that big question mark. Because otherwise it is so behind. You know what the worst part to me is? And they've always done this. The 2026 Toyota RAV4, we reviewed one recently. That has more technology than the LX 600 and the 700. That's the worst part on every level. Infotainment, safety, everything, even behind the scenes. Hybrid system, of course, everything. That's the problem. You pay six figures for a car, you want it to be the ultimate version of that company. That's not the case. That's the problem. Then we walk down the line to the Lexus GX550. I think they did the GX550 well, but still, there is something different about it. It's a different direction. And it works. The Lexus GX550 is one of the good ones, I think, today. Still has the V35A, which is usually the number one reason why someone would buy an ancient dinosaur, because it's reliable. That's to be determined, I suppose, but the rest of the car is different. But here's my problem. If you're going to go buy a luxury car, usually folks that buy them never off-road with them initially. And that truck was so heavy on off-road that it even pushes it further into what exactly is the intention with it. That's the problem. The other good thing about the GX550, it did not get the ridiculous copy-paste effect of the rest. Speaking of, let's talk about the rest. The Lexus RX. I mean, the Lexus RX is like the pillar of Lexus after the LS. The LS is gone. Lexus RX, very nice car, but it has no more V6. It's a super quiet, super refined car with a buzzy four-cylinder. Doesn't suffer in the power department, but the feel department. And then I can't help but think that the TX, the RX, and the NX are exactly the same car, just small, medium, large. Because when you look at the interiors, they look exactly the same. Same technology, same buttons, same layout, same horrendous heads-up display and weird buttons on the steering wheel, same horrendous handles, same everything, same design, same colors, and they do not feel as premium as they once were. You look at the previous generation RX, it actually, in some aspects, feels more exclusive, more premium, while these just feel like a shoe size, small, medium, large. Which one do you want? That's how it feels like. Then the Lexus ES. I mean, the ES was the last standing, just old school Lexus, proper. We're getting the new one. I cannot comment on the new one because we have not driven one, but from the looks of it, we have now a sedan. It has the copy-paste effect of the NX, RX, and the TX. But the biggest problem with the RX and the TX, or even the NX, behind on technology. The Toyota counterpart of these cars are so good that they completely overshadow. Usually people will go buy a Lexus because, well, I looked at a Highlander or I looked at a RAV4, but I want something nicer, I want something nicer materials, quieter. They go buy the other ones. But now the spread has gotten smaller and smaller. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Because in the past, when you go drive a Highlander and you go drive the RX, they're not even in the same planet, yet they are the same car. Not even in the same planet. But that spread, initially when first Lexus started, that spread was very thin. Then it got much wider. But now I feel like it's coming back. That's a problem because cars are not getting cheaper. But that's to say that not the Lexus side is coming down, slightly, but the Toyota side is going up. Because you can option some Toyotas to basically Lexus level options these days. The only thing that'll be a limitation is going to be how quiet they are. But that is a very small thing to gain for a big price difference. That's the other problem. And lastly, we have to talk about the Lexus IS. And this is where I feel like the struggle is. This is the identity struggle. Okay. We had the IS 500, which made absolutely no sense because that should have been the ISF 2.0. Then we canceled it. Then now we're updating the IS. They almost discontinued it, but no, we are updating the IS. And the Lexus UX, canceled. The Lexus GS, canceled a long time ago. And the Lexus RC, canceled. I feel like every car, they have an inner struggle lately. Every car that represents their past, which is what carries them today, which is why people buy Lexus, they're trying to kind of hide and push to the side. We don't want these anymore. We want the new image. But the new image, I'm having a hard time with it. Because I'm sorry, this is my vision of why would you buy a Lexus. You buy a Lexus because it is a high quality, reliable, very nice luxury car. With the understanding it's not the highest on the tech, it is not the most exhilarating and kind of flashy and everything. You buy it for its old school quality because it's reliable. You buy this car because it's nice, but it's not going to break the bank. Maybe not to buy it, but to maintain it and keep it. Lately, I feel like we are heading in a different direction than that. Because you look at the cars, they're trying so hard with technology and trying to wow folks with, oh, look at this infotainment, look at this cool thing in the handle, whatnot. But here's one thing about Lexus. They've never done gimmicks well, ever. There has never been a single gimmick they have done that went well. Because that's not their DNA. So here's some of the Lexus models where I see them heading. You have yesterday's technology, half-done gimmicks, because that's not their thing. Quality is not really the same as the old cars, which I understand for reasons why, cost and whatnot, but still. The spread between Toyota and Lexus is getting smaller, and the prices are going higher. And then the flagship names, the names that establish Lexus, are gone. The only car that is left today, 2026, that has every bit of that, where we don't care about technology, we don't care about exhilarating this stuff, although it is exhilarating. We only care about the highest level of craftsmanship and reliability, is the LC500. And I give it one more year, I feel like it's gone. And after that, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm actually concerned about Lexus because I feel like they are slowly aimless. That's what it feels like. I'm sorry, that is a harsh word if you work for Lexus. But I don't like the direction they're going. I feel like they are abandoning what made this very car, that is a 20-year-old car, drives better than any new Lexus by a mile. You go get a GX470, it drives better than any new Lexus by a mile. Not the gizmos of the technology, the feel, how they carried themselves, how quiet they were, how smooth they were, and how just it felt indestructible. That's not the case anymore. Maybe that is okay. Call me old. I don't know. But to me, if I'm going to go buy a Lexus, I want it to feel like that. GX460. I own a GX460. That feels like that. It's super ancient. It is horrendous that you can buy a car in 2023 that has certain technology that's like, what is going on here? A car that is almost 20 years old has these features and you don't. But that's exactly the point, because the build quality, the feel of the car, but that's slowly disappearing. We recently drove a Lexus TX. I struggled with that car because I feel like, yeah, it's nice, but so is the Grand Highlander, which costs a lot less. And you know what I'm noticing as well? I hear people buy TX. So when I ask them, like sometimes we get interaction with customers in the shop, and I ask them, it's like, what made you buy this car? Just kind of getting their feedback. You know what the number one response is why they bought the TX over the Grand Highlander? Well, they gave me a deal that was so good that it was almost the same price within like $1,000 more. That's not a good reason. That's really not a good reason. And then we look in the horizon. You know, Toyota is like on the top right now with their stuff. The new RAV4 just came out, the new 4Runner just came out. Well, they're still dealing with the Tundra problems and all that, but still, that model is actually selling very well. The new Sequoia is out, the new Land Cruiser is out. There are so many new things going on. The new Corolla is on the horizon. I mean, things are in 7th gear, going forward at full speed. Lexus, there is not much going on. There's a new ES, by the way, coming out this year sometime. But I don't even hear about it. It's just coming out. Nobody cares. The ES is the #1 model for Lexus after the LS. Well, the LS is gone. And you know what? If you ask Lexus owners today, do you know that they discontinued the car that they started with? No idea. Hey, do you know there's a new ES coming out? There's an electric version of that? No? You don't see ads. You don't see anything. It's just radio silence. Nothing. I'm very concerned. And I'm gonna now switch some part of the video to Lexus. If you are watching, anybody that has any power that be at Lexus, here's a heart-to-heart. Go back. If you're wondering why numbers are not doing so hot, models are not really, things are kind of all over the place, go back. Go back to the DNA. Go back to what started Lexus, what shook the world when it came out. Because that's what people want from Lexus. Because Lexus will never be Mercedes-Benz, will never be BMW. See, Mercedes, they have a heritage, even though they are completely falling off of that heritage. Truth has to be said. But they stick into it. Beautiful looking cars, exhilarating drives, just the next level of luxury. And technology lately. Not so bad. BMW, not luxury. I actually don't see BMW as luxury cars. They're all about how they drive. Ultimate driving machine, and they do that part so well. no reliability, no everything else. They promise something and they deliver. Audi, I don't comment on Audi anymore because we've actually cut ties with Audi. We will never see an Audi product in our channels ever again. But Lexus had their thing. See, you look at Acura, they're still at their thing. Lexus kind of wandered off to the side. Go back is the message. Because the reason folks would consider a Lexus is quality, real quality, not the quality of the gizmos, the quality of things behind the scenes. You drive some of these old Lexus, and I get it, times have changed. You drive some of the old Lexus, it's like, wow, there is no new Lexus that even comes close to how this 20-year-old car drives. Not saying go back 20 years, but shift the focus towards quality, towards reliability, towards overbuilt quality, because that's what folks want. And at that point, you can ask any price, because that's what folks want. That's what's missing in the automotive industry, in the luxury car segment. But currently, I feel like we're experimenting, figuring out what to do, what's next. And that, I fear, might not work long term. And I really feel like something hopefully will change soon, because it's concerning. The truth has to be said. Folks, I hope this video is helpful and informative. I hope you learned something new. If you like it, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some other videos. Until the next video, folks, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have yourself a wonderful day.